Hello and welcome to this amazing edition of Page by Page, showing only on Royal Television. My name is Gratitude Imokwede, and this is still the Hot Topic segment where we talk about the happenings across the states and in Nigeria. Let's talk Nigeria. But before we dive into our topic of discussion, I have with me my amazing colleague ready to dissect our topic of discussion. Bubu Adurugo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, gratitude. Nice to be here.
Nice to be here. I love the voice. Thank you. So our topic of discussion is erosion control because we can see how badly we are being affected by the flood, the rain, and most importantly, some specific parts of Lagos. But before we dive fully into preventive cause and effective ways to, not be too affected by the flood and erosion, what do you think about this story?
So it's crazy what's been happening in Lagos and Nigeria. We could see the flood taking houses, covering houses.
Houses, yeah.
Taking cars and all of that. So it's really, really crazy. And one thing I would also want to do, because most times we come out to bash the government and all of that, but I would also want to commend the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who has been doing a lot in terms of sanitation. Because, I think the past month or two, Lagos have been consistent with sanitation and they've been trying as much as possible to clean up the state. You understand? So I would want to commend the state governor for at least doing it. Yes.
That's very, very... But there are some parts in Lagos where lawmen don't take their job seriously. So can you say now that the governor of Lagos State is still effective? Because it's still the one that would, give instructions. And I saw one video online last week rather, when he went into the street himself to do the cleanings. Does that mean that he's leaving some parts out and focusing on some areas?
I feel like it's going to take time. You get it? I feel like it's going to take time. Cleaning it up, it's not like a day's job. You understand? For the fact that he has started, we need to commend him on that. You get? Then when he doesn't go to the obscure areas or the down part of Lagos to like clean them up and all of that, then that's when we now call his attention to see this part. It's like you're leaving this part out and all of that. And the government is not totally to blame. Rather. We the citizens, we also have our part to play in all of this. You get? If the government do their part in cleaning, you understand, we the citizens, we also need to make sure that our streets are clean. They said, okay, put this stuff in a bin or something. Make sure that it's your refuge is inside the bin. So the lawman people do not get to do like a lot of things. You get, because they're also human too. And I think that day I saw on Instagram a lady who was building a car park on top of the lagoon in Lagos State. So that's the thing. We the citizens, we have a lot to do to make sure that this whole erosion or the flood rather does not consume all of us. You understand? While also the government also needs to provide proper drainages. When they provide the drainage, we also need to make sure that we do not clog this drainage. You understand? So it's like a symbiotic relationship between the government and the people. So it's not just always bashing the government. When they do well, also come out to say, oh, they have actually done well, and we also need to play our own role. So
Okay, so when you mentioned some areas might not be touched by the government, but I feel like over the years we've got complaints from now called Lagos Lake, Lekki. That place has always been flooded when it rains. The place is always messy. Like the flood go into their houses, spoil properties, and so many things like that. So why don't they focus on areas like that? Being that we are in the rainy season. It's been raining for weeks now, almost a month. And we're officially going into a month of rain. So I think I feel like they are meant to have a plan on how to prevent these things, not sorting solutions when you should have sought preventions. Now it's happening, you're running etta-sketa. Look at kids going to school with boats. On boat to school. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I feel like I will still call out the government to do the right thing and assign the right people to those areas. Fine, we would say we as citizens need to maintain what they have already done, but now they need help. That place is not even habitable for anybody.
Very true.
It's not. So please, we need to do the right thing. But before that, I have some few effective ways to prevent these things in case you don't know, or some of these government officials. So the first one is proper waste management by the lawman. That's the first one, which is the Lagos Waste Management Authority, because we got complaints like from the previous week that there are some areas that lawman don't even get to. They now assign abokis to take out their trash from estates and areas within Lagos, which doesn't even make any sense. Now, moving on to the next one is plants, vegetation, and trees. This has always been a way to stop erosion and all of that. Moving on to the next one is, like you said, building drainage systems and all of that. And also, right now, I think what we need to effect immediately is to construct retaining walls that will help keep these waters and the flood out of buildings, out of places that people, would always go to and pass through to their businesses, to schools, and the likes. Do you have any lined out?
It all falls down to planning. Everything we're talking about, it all falls down to planning, because I saw a video on the internet where a man or a guy said that he's an environmental engineer.
Oh,
and
okay.
he said that there's a problem on the coastal road, that they did not prepare proper drainage, because the water is supposed to move from the from Lekki axis into the river or the stream, the sea or whatever you get, but it's not properly channeled. Because you can see that the coastal road is higher than
the normal road.
Yeah, than the residential areas. So if it's planned, this thing, I feel like they've not properly planned
it. It's very true.
They did not plan for this flood or the rainy season. So it also boils down to the government doing their part and the citizen also doing their parts. Like I said, it's a symbiotic relationship between the both of them. So yeah.
Thank you so much. So right now, it's right about time to dive into our second story, talking about Carter Efe and Babcock University. His response, in relation to his response to the Olodo Uprising, and he had an interview with Egungun. Of course, and Egungun said something that I cannot even comprehend, but I'll just read it the way he said it. He said, "We are something, we create content online, and we are crazy online. What are we?" I don't know what that means, but you can figure it out. Then Carter Efe in response said, "Olodo Uprising, I am a graduate. I went to one of the best universities in the whole of Africa, Babcock University. I studied biochemistry." Then Egungun asked him, "What biochemistry?" Still a very unintelligent question to ask. Then Carter Efe said, "If I start explaining chemistry for you, you would lose yourself." And he went further to, showing the public the certificate he got from Babcock, so-called certificate from Babcock University in first class honors. And Babcock University responded saying that they have no relationship and they cannot identify Carter Efe as their student. They don't even have any relation with this person, not to talk of him being their student. And an update to this story is Babcock University suing and taking legal actions against Carter Efe over allegations of fake certificates. This is really embarrassing. Boo Boo, what do you have to say about this?
Embarrassing is the least word. Embarrassing is the least word to use, because when YC made mention of this Olodo Uprising thing, I was against him. I was against that motion that it's not easy to build a brand, because if you look at these people he mentioned, the pillar of culture and all of that, these guys have built their brand strategically for years, and it's the strategic building that they are reaping right now. And coming to say that, oh, it's an Olodo Uprising thing doesn't really sit well with me. But Carter Efe is trying so hard to prove his point, which is YC's point, that there's a lot of Olodos out there with platform. So it's crazy right now, because you're coming out, and I looked at the degree, and I'm seeing first class upper.
Oh my gracious God!
It is so, permit me to use the word dumb, because you do not even know that there's nothing like first class upper to start with. That you're designing. What was going? I want to know what was going through his mind when he posted. Do you think that Babcock, which is one of the biggest universities in Nigeria, would not come out to debunk that thing if it's actually false. Most times these guys make it so hard to defend them. But do I still really feel like there's an Olodo uprising? I do not agree 100%. But I feel like the so-called dumb ones are just overshadowing the bright one. And that thing again is that Nigerians are going through a lot. And this entertainment or these guys are just giving like a comic relief. So that's why I feel like they are trending more than the guys who push educational content. Just like, for example, Shank, for example, studied electrical electronics engineering. You understand? So they are not, in as much as they are trying to push the Olodo culture thing or the Olodo uprising thing, there are still some...
Can I respond to what you just said?
Yeah, please.
Mentioning Shank and Carter Efe in the same sentence doesn't really make any sense to me. Shank is a content creator, but he's intelligent. He's smart. You could tell that, yes, this guy is smart. He knows what he's doing. But what does Carter Efe really does? What does he do?
That's what I'm telling you, that you cannot categorically categorize all of them as the Olodos. You understand? Because that was what YC was trying to do. And I can give you like 5 off the top of my head, 5 content creators off the top of my head who have done very, very well for themselves. And look at Crazy Clown, for example. He's a medical doctor. Look at Sydney, for example. These guys are educated. You understand? So you do not go about saying, okay, because there are few guys out there who, are bringing, I don't want to use the word shame, who are not really that, you understand? Who are not really that.
But in YC's defense, he did not categorically say all Nigerians are Olodos. He said they celebrate the mediocrities than the intellectual ones more in our society. And it's true. You would go online and see content. Someone will post something about educational content or something that would really invest in your mind and your thoughts. And someone is just there showing a nude, or a guy is just saying, Jesus, W in the whatever chat. And he's getting more traction than someone who is trying to push out something that would really invest in your mind.
Do you know why? It's not the Olodo culture, you get. It's that Nigerians are going through a lot. So any form of comic relief they get, they just want to grab. You understand? You would not tell someone who has had like a really long day at work or a stressful day at work, who picks up his phone to scroll through social media or scroll through Instagram, to come back and start listening to 15 ways to become a billionaire. You don't expect him to do that. He's coming, he just wants to unwind, just wants to feel at home and relax. So it now goes back to why they now go to feed more on that content, you get. Because if someone like Pella or someone like Carter Efe, for example, is giving them that comic relief that they feel that they need, they'll definitely engage more with their content than someone doing the educational. You understand where I'm coming from? So that's
and you know, YC said something. He said, in as much of what him is trying to talk about the Olodo uprisings, what about the followers? We should even be asking those followers questions. Why is your comic relief Carter Efe? Why is your comic relief a lady showing her nudes online? That means you have a problem. You have a problem. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Why is he attacking the followers? He's also shooting himself in the foot.
How?
Because he has, if you check most of the followers, people that follow the likes of Carter Efe and Pella and all of that, they are also his followers. You understand?
Okay.
Carter, YC's song, does he push educational songs? No, he does not. Does his song talk about problems Nigerians are facing? No, he does not. So if you're talking about the Olodo uprising and followers and all of that, so YC also should be blamed. Also, he's also part of the Olodo uprising, and his followers are also part of the whole Olodo uprising. If you talk about people who push educational music and all of that, you talk about fouls. You understand? So YC coming out to say that is also shooting himself in the foot.
I would still stand on the opinion that YC might not be 100% correct, but is 60% correct. Because I see what's going on in the social media space, and it's not funny. It's really not. Have you seen Carter Efe's followership? Have you seen his engagement? What exactly does he do? What exactly does Carter Efe do? What does he do? What does he do? So right now, I think we should come to the end of this amazing edition. I mean, we had so many contributions to the stories, from the erosion to Carter Efe's shenanigans and all of that. So yeah, I think we should come to the end of. So after you, my love.
Yes. So, in conclusion, the people need to help the government to protect their environment. And down to the Carter Efe and Babcock situation, I think it's really dumb of him to push out such thing. You understand? So I would also urge content creators to do better, and also their followers, talk to their followers. And YC, on the other hand, I think he owes Nigerians an
Please, let's
apology.
end this show. He owes nobody
I think he owes
an
Nigerians or his
apology.
followers an apology.
It doesn't. So right now we've come to the end of the Hot Topic segment on Page by Page. My name is Gratitude Imokode, and also don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and